everyone. This is Jess with American Songwriter, and we are here today with Brandon Lay.
What's up?
Universal recording artist extraordinaire.
Man, that sounds really good. I like how you put that. Thanks
you.
for having me.
It's off the cuff. Thanks for being here.
You're
a busy
do it.
man, so
Yeah.
we're happy to have you here for a little bit.
Yeah.
First things first, I always like to actually just sit down and get to know you a little bit. So I want to hear, who was Brandon as a little boy? Tell me about growing up, where you grew up, do you have siblings, all that fun stuff.
I grew up in Jackson, Tennessee, which is west of here, about 2 hours. It's a little closer to Memphis, but I had two older sisters, and they, I like to think I got in this entertainment business because of the way I grew up, because I feel like they gave me a false sense of self-esteem because they loved
Nice.
everything I did. Yeah, and I was always putting on shows for them on the fireplace, and so they kind of doted on me, and so and in a way that probably gave me a false sense of security, but I just kind of went with it, and so here I am in Nashville. And as a little boy, I would like to say, other than my wife, everything I loved when I was 4 are still the same things I love.
Really?
Yeah, cars
Like what?
and music.
Peanut butter and jelly? No.
I love peanut butter and jelly, but cars and music pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you grow up listening to music?
I
Was it in
did.
your house and
Yeah, the Class 89 was really big for me because I was born in 87, and when I was 4 and 5, I would watch 7 or 8 hours of CMT all day.
Oh, wow.
Probably just because I was so ADD, my mom was like, "Here, watch this." So I would try to emulate those guys with the shoestrings on a shoebox, and try to,
Aw.
I was always going around playing and singing. And I was 5 when "Achy Breaky Heart" came out, and that's when all your aunts and uncles at every family event are like, "Well, sing for us."
And that's what you
and I have to go.
would do?
Yeah, I would get shy though and have to go behind the couch and sing it. But so
would you totally hide?
Yeah, I had
it
to
was like
hide.
you disappeared and all they heard was this little boy singing
Yes.
"Achy Breaky."
That's exactly what happened, because I would get
That's
nervous.
interesting, though.
Yeah, like around my mom and dad and my two older sisters, I was a live wire. But every time I got in front of a bigger audience, I kind of shriveled up a little bit. But
Aw.
my two older sisters played piano, sang a lot in church. My dad was he's still in the ministry, but he was a preacher then, and so they were very involved in choir and stuff. I never sang in church. I never.
Really?
No, I was always playing sports. I mean, sports and, music was always just something I loved. It wasn't ever anything I was going to do, So all my efforts were definitely, just like any other little boy, climbing trees and playing ball and getting dirty. And, it's the same stuff I like to do when I'm off today.
Sounds like one of your songs.
Yeah.
There's bleachers and preachers.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Yeah, so, obviously we're in the business of being as authentic as we can, so I try to put
That's awesome.
as much of that stuff in the songs. And I was very fortunate. People are like, "Oh, you're a preacher's kid," and I guess
PK.
you can go one of two ways.
The
And
abbreviation.
yeah,
PK.
preacher's kids are they're known for being a little either really really good or really really bad. And I'll just put it this way: my two older sisters were really really good, and I might have been a little more well rounded. So I guess I had to test things out a little bit, but I was also blessed to be raised in a household where, my mom and dad always encouraged us to, whatever it was we wanted to do, take a swing at it, go for it. So
That's awesome.
yeah, that kind of spirit, I guess, once I got in college and stuff and decided to come up here to Nashville, I think that kind of spirit of just, going for it and trying something big was just kind of always in my path.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm super lucky to have parents that support that.
Yeah, well, to be honest, it probably wasn't the first thing they would have picked, just because there was the main place to play in Jackson forever was a place called Barley's, and it was 100 yards. It was right across the highway from my church, and so literally my dad's name was on the marquee of the church. And I remember I finally got a gig at Barley's, which was I thought I was playing the Super Bowl, because that was a big deal in Jackson. And they were like, "All right, we're going to put your name on the marquee." And I just had them put BLB for Brandon Lay Band, because I didn't want, the dichotomy of it is it's just too much like a movie, but I didn't want my name on the bar front and right across the street my dad's name on the church. So in a lot of ways that kind of sums up, kind of what brought me here.
The difference, yeah.
Yeah.
So you said that you didn't actually think that you were going to be doing this. This wasn't your first path.
No.
So what was your trajectory at that point? Because you said you were in college. Were you studying something different? Or?
No, I was doing business management. I was had a landscaping company, and I bought some duplexes and was renting those out. So I thought I was gonna do real estate in Jackson, rent out, lower income houses and do landscaping, and that was gonna be my life. But back to sports, basketball was always my first love, and I was playing in college, albeit not getting much playing time, but I was still kind of keeping that dream alive. I was never going to go to the NBA, but pay for books and board and that kind of stuff. So it was a good thing to do. But by the time I really started playing open mics, I quit my senior year, and I knew I was going to move to Nashville. So
wow!
I just kind of took that focus and put it into country music.
So while you were actually pursuing another avenue, you were still creating music on the side, because obviously you're not just going to get up and do an open mic night without having anything under your belt. So what was that like?
It happened pretty fast. It wasn't, to be honest, there wasn't much overlap. I'm very much all or nothing to a fault, and I took guitar class as an elective, and I had a really, really, really great teacher. His name was Charlie Baker, and
thanks, Charlie.
Yeah. Yes, rest in peace, Charlie. We love Charlie. But he was a great teacher, like a legend. He played with Carl Perkins, so he was just a local legend around Jackson and taught so many people how to play. But he encouraged me. He said, you either need to join theater at Union. I was playing at Union University, and he was like, you either need to do a play or you need to do an open mic, because these songs that you're writing they're raw, they're pretty good. You need to go out there. And so he really pushed me to do that, and once I did that, I drove an hour out of town, so nobody would see me, because I just wanted to do it by myself. It was a Tuesday night open mic night at a little block building bar, and after I played that first night, I was hooked. And so I immediately put a band together, immediately quit the basketball team.
Wow.
And there really wasn't much overlap. I mean, I just went here and then all in country music.
So you make a decision and you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. That's awesome.
I tend to sweat the small stuff. The big stuff is usually no problem. It's like
one or the other, man.
Yeah.
Everybody has one or the other.
Yeah, life path stuff is just like, those are always just no-brainers to me, but it's the little stuff, I guess, that bogs me down more so.
You need that book. It says Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll get it for you. You can put it on
all right, put it in the mail.
No.
Yeah. Okay, I have a bad habit of buying books and not reading them.
And not reading them?
I always feel so studious and so smart, like an intellectual, when I buy the books, and then they just sit by my bed. And I watch YouTube.
We'll cut that. No one has to know that he has all these books.
No, leave it in.
He's an educated man. No. Okay, so when you came to Nashville, what year did you come here? 2010?
Mm-hmm. Right after the flood.
So is it like a 10-year town for real?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell people that, like, everybody told me that, and I thought, no, there's no way. I'm not going to do this, either I'm going to make it or I won't. I'll give it 3. And yeah, it's been 10 years. So
that's crazy.
It's but my trajectory has always been. I've had breaks along the way. The first one was meeting Robert Philhart at ASCAP and then getting a publishing deal, because that let me turn loose of some of my rental property back in Jackson and my landscaping I was doing, and that let me go full time into music. And that was my 3rd year in town. So Alicia Pruitt signed me, and Phil Hart at ASCAP took me around to 8 publishers, like within a week, and I played for them all. And there was one that I really wanted to be with, and that was Alicia at Warner Chapel. And it came time for, if anybody was interested, and she was the only one that offered. So it was,
you got the one that you wanted.
Yeah,
so.
It really worked out. And then that led to a record deal 3 years later. So I've gotten some breaks, and Nashville's been really good to me, but it's just, it's definitely been a gradual climb, but it's given me time to write better songs and have a bigger body of work.
Right. So you've seen the total transition of Nashville too.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Do you have any spots that, when you first moved here, that you still
I was just going in that roundabout here on Music Row, and I was thinking, man, I used to meet up and buy and sell stuff on Craigslist in that parking lot, and now it's a high-rise condo.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Overnight.
It made me feel old. Yeah.
Come visit Nashville. It's going to change next week, but
you won't recognize it.
Yeah, seriously. So what's one of your go-to spots in Nashville? Date night, or your favorite coffee shop? Do you drink coffee?
I drink coffee, yeah. But I would say date night, my wife and I like this place called Rotiers.
I've
like
never
West
heard of that.
End.
Okay.
It's kind of a hole in the wall place, but they're known for their burgers and barbecue, and it's just kind of it's one of those like Nashville staples. That's
cool.
Yeah, it's called Rotiers. It's really good. So.
What about coffee shop? There's a million of them here.
I'm not a big I'm more like a truck stop coffee guy. I'm more about the destination than the journey when it comes to coffee. Like you're not gonna see. I feel. I mean, no offense, but I just feel like I'm wasting time when I'm in a coffee shop just sitting there.
Yeah.
But,
so you just
I know it's a very
give you that jolt, and you're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I got stuff to do. But a lot of people really I know a lot of my guys in my band. They want to go find a coffee shop, and I used to give them all kinds of hell for it because I thought it was weird. But I'll be honest, I've come around, and I see some people need that to unwind or whatnot. I charge alone. I'm very much an introvert, which makes it challenging in this business.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're getting up in front of how many thousands of people a night.
Yeah, but it's so different than just having to socialize,
Right.
And the older I get, I feel like my wife's like, you weren't this weird when we got married. I just keep getting weirder and weirder. But I'm very much an introvert. But I've learned that some people, they like the coffee shop life and they come back a lot happier. So I'm like, hey, by all means.
So when you're on the road, you just hit those truck stops and get your jolt.
I do, yeah. We've got a Keurig on the bus, and a Keurig, whatever.
Keurig. Yeah.
Yeah, and it does what we need, and we also have Red Bull on our rider. So I know it is, but
no offense,
it's it gives me wings. So.
It just doesn't really though. No.
Yeah.
And you're on the road right now.
Yes, we are. We're in town now for CRS and all the festivities here.
When do you leave again?
In the morning, we're playing at the Ryman for the UMG. I guess I think we got a 10 o'clock performance, but head back out tomorrow.
Cool. And you're with Brantley Gilbert right now?
Mm-hmm. Brantley Gilbert on the Fired Up tour.
How's that been?
It's been amazing. I think this will be week 5, and it's been amazing.
When you're out and you're playing, are there certain songs that the crowd that you just they seem to respond to? That you're kind of shocked. You're like, whoa,
of my set.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our brand new single "For My Money" is starting to get played more, and every weekend we go out, I can tell more and more of a difference. So
that's awesome.
It's really
so you're
cool
seeing the gradual progression as it progresses
It's
on
getting
the charts
out,
and everything.
It's getting out there more. It's climbing up the charts, and every week it definitely gets better.
That's so cool.
But Speakers, Bleachers, and Preachers was my first single, and that one still gets the most response live, just because that's what people are the most familiar with.
Yeah,
so.
I love that song, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it went gold in Canada, huh?
Yeah.
Hey?
I like those people.
Went gold in Canada, eh?
Yeah.
That's
some
awesome.
great people up there. So yeah.
Have you actually played in Canada?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, we love it up there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're pushing For My Money right now.
Correct.
And I mean, okay, I have to ask this. I always ask this. Out of all of the songs that you have out right now, what's your personal favorite and why?
Break Down on Me.
Why?
I don't know. I wrote it at my kitchen table, and it's the oldest song that we have out, and so much of our production and stuff we've got some really cool sounds that I'm really proud of, but that one is just more acoustic driven, and I don't know. I think that one to me, I think hopefully people will discover it 10 or 15 years from now and really dig it, So that's my favorite.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are you going to sing something for us?
Yeah, if you want me to.
We want
you
to.
Is it that time in the show?
I would love that.
Okay. Well,
what song are you going to be singing for us?
It's a song called not Break Down on Me, but Broke.
Broke. Is this even out or?
No, this isn't out yet.
Oh,
but
I
we've
love
been putting it in our shows and stuff, and I wrote it with Dean Dillon, who is a mega legend songwriter and very intimidating man to write with for the first time. And we wrote the song about 4 years ago, and I remember the day that I went in there, and he was smoking a cigarette, and he was like, "Play me the best song you ever wrote in your life." And it was like Sam Elliott, beef is what's for dinner. That's who I think of, Dean Dillon. He had Fringe, and he owns a ranch in Colorado, and he's that dude. And I nervously got through something. And
what did you play? Do you even remember?
Yeah,
did you black out?
Yeah, I blacked out. I'm pretty sure I left out a second verse or something, but it was a song called "Love Me Tennessee," and I felt like that was the best one I had at the time. And so I guess he liked it enough to let the day progress. And I had this idea because I do love working on trucks and tractors when I'm when I'm off the road. And
yeah, follow him on Instagram. By the way, I heard
Yeah.
that it's a farmer's delight.
Well, it's real. I know just enough to like get stuff stuck and break stuff, so it's always.
That sounds interesting.
it's
I
always
might even like
interesting.
that. I have no idea about farming.
Yeah, but it's like relationships. You fix them. Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't, and sometimes they just sit over in the weeds, and you never get back around to them. And I feel like with the fast-paced life that I live, unfortunately, there's like a lot of people I feel like I should have been best friends with, that we won't just because of life, and different locations and different paces of life. But this is more of about a guy missing a girl, pretty much, and thinking about putting that back together. So
I love that.
You want me to play it?
Yeah, we're excited to hear it. Here is Brandon Lay with Broke.
Well, it sits in the backyard where the grass is overgrown, stuck in first, tires flat, and that old engine blown. Bringing back old memories when you were right beside me, but now it sits in the weeds, busted up to remind me. And I thought about dragging it out, I thought about fixing it up, calling you to see if we could pick the pieces of our love back up, have another run at us before we went up in smoke. I hate to leave it like it is, can't stand to see it there like this, bro. Baby, bro. Well, I could put it back together better than it was, rebuild, repaint, do all the things it takes to make it run. Dash lights lighting up your face, down any time for anything. We were like a match we let burn out way too quick. And I thought about dragging it out, I thought about fixing it up, calling you to see if we could pick the pieces of our love back up, have another run at us before we went up in smoke. I hate to leave it like it is, can't stand to see it there like this, bro. Just bro. And all I see is us and that old Stingray. You can't tell me that what we had can't live to see another day. And I thought about dragging it out, and I thought about fixing it up, calling you to see if we could pick the pieces of our love back up, have another run at us before we went up in smoke. I hate to leave it like it is, can't stand to see it there like this.